Welcome to my channel, friends. Today I am going to explain a thriller movie named Bad Sister, in which a nun fell in love with one of her students, and she was ready to go to any extent to get him. So let's the explanation begin. In the beginning of the movie, we see a boy named Jason. He likes music a lot, and he makes videos of his music and posts it on social media. Jason's school holidays are over, so his parents come to drop him and his sister Zoe to school. A new teacher, Sophie, has joined his school. She was earlier a teacher in another school, but now she has been transferred to this school. Sister Rebecca, who is the principal of that school, takes Sophie to show her the school, while Sophie sees Jason and gets attracted towards him. After this, Sophie comes to her room and start watching Jason's videos and kisses Jason on the laptop itself. That's when we learn that Sophie already knows Jason. The next day in class, Sophie sees a girl named Sarah talking to Jason, which makes her jealous. She changes Sarah's seat so that she stays away from Jason. On the other hand, she tells Zoe to pray. Morning prayers are performed only by nuns, but Sophie did not know prayer, and she remains silent even at the time of prayer. Then after class, she goes to Jason and asks if Sarah is your girlfriend. Jason says no, she is just his good friend. Sophie gets happy hearing this, but the next day, when she sees Jason and Sarah kissing, so she presses her cross in anger so hard that blood starts coming out of her hand. Sophie is a psycho, and she would do anything to get Jason. After class is over, Sophie asks Jason why he lied to her that Sarah is just his friend. Jason had no answer. Sophie then invites Jason to her room after school and tells her that she has an urgent work with Jason. When Jason goes to meet Sophie in her room, his door is wide open. Inside, Sophie is changing clothes. Sophie did all this intentionally so that Jason would be attracted towards her. Jason also keeps looking at Sophie and leaves without meeting her. Jason comes to his room and imagines Sophie with him all night. Sophie's plan to attract Jason was successful. The next day, when Jason was on his way home for the weekend, Sophie saw Jason and Sarah talking and becomes very jealous. She then asks for leave from Sister Rebecca, saying that her aunt is sick and she needs to go see her. Sophie arrives at Jason's house at night. She hides and sees Jason. Just then Jason gets a call from Sarah. Sophie feels bad seeing this, and she understands that, in order to have Jason, she must first separate Sarah from him. She then secretly puts the weed in Sarah's book. And the next day in class, when Sarah opens the book, Sophie catches Sarah with the weed and tells all this to Sister Rebecca. Sister Rebecca suspended Sarah. Sophie also hides the bottle of liquor in Jason's room. And when everyone's room is checked, a bottle of liquor is found from Jason's room. The principal was about to suspend Jason too. Just then Sophie tells him that Jason should get another chance. The principal does not suspend Jason after listening to her, but as a punishment he is asked to help all the teachers. Sophie succeeding in all her plans to get Jason, and she was bringing Jason closer to her. During this we learn that Sophie's real name is Laura, and she is very rich. Ever since she saw Jason's videos, she fell madly in love with him, and she wanted to get Jason at any cost. That's why she kills Jason's real teacher Sophie, and she herself comes to his school as a nun. Then when all the students are going home for the weekend, Sophie tells Jason to stay at the school. The next day, when Jason is working, Sophie goes to him and tries to attract him. That night when Jason is sleeping in his room, Sophie goes to his room and starts seducing him. But Jason feels it wrong, and he stops Sophie doing this. But after Sophie forces him, he becomes intimate with her. Sophie had recorded all this on her phone. The next day Jason feels bad that he did wrong with his teacher. On the other hand, Sophie wanted to get Zoe out of his way, because Joe always kept an eye on Jason and Sophie. That's why she intentionally gives low marks to Zoe in the exam, due to which Zoe gets upset. Sophie tells Zoe that she will give her another chance to give the test. She then calls Zoe alone. After the class is over, Sophie puts the answer sheet at the top. And when Zoe comes to class, she gets the answer sheet in his hand instead of question paper. Sophie accuses Zoe of cheating in the exam and goes to Sister Rebecca and asks her to suspend Zoe. But Sister Rebecca knew that Zoe is a bright student, and she gives Zoe another chance. Sophie's trick to trap Zoe doesn't work. After Sophie leaves, Zoe tells Sister that Sophie's intention is not right. But the sister thought that Zoe was saying this in anger. That's why she doesn't pay much attention to her. The next day, Jason goes to church for the confession. Just then, Sophie comes and she becomes intimate with Jason. The next day on the weekend, the father of the other school comes to their school, seeing whom Sophie hides because that father knew the real Sophie. Sophie, fearing to be caught, tells Sister Rebecca that her aunt is sick, so she is going to meet her, and she leaves. On the other hand, Jason receives a message from Sarah. She invites Jason to her house party. Sarah starts kissing Jason at the party, but Jason was only thinking about Sophie, so he leaves from there. A police officer catches him outside because he was not of age to drink alcohol. Just then Sophie comes and saves him. Then the Sophie takes him with her and takes off her clothes in front of Jason and starts seducing him. Then she wants to be intimate with him, but Jason stops her doing this. He tells Sophie that he doesn't love her, and whatever he has done to her, he is very ashamed for that. Saying this, he leaves from there. Sophie goes mad in anger. The next day, Sister Rebecca brings Sarah back to class. Sophie gets very angry seeing her. After this, she gets very angry seeing Sarah and Jason together. She tells Jason to stay away from Sarah, but Jason does not listen to her. That same night, Sophie goes to Sarah's room, where Sarah was taking a shower. She attacks Sarah and kills her. She kills him in such a way that people think that Sarah has died due to slipping. Jason knows that Sophie is the one who kills Zoe. Sophie threatens Jason if he does not have a relationship with her, she will make his video viral, in which both of them were getting intimate. This scares Jason a lot, and when he goes to his house, he is only worried about this thing. Zoe is noticing Jason and she understands that Jason is upset about something. She asks Jason about it. Jason tells her about his relationship with Sophie, and also says that Sophie is blackmailing him. On the basis of the video, Zoe then plans that she will bring Sophie's truth in front of everyone. The next day, Jason and Zoe break into Sophie's room and check her laptop. Then they learn that Sophie's real name is Laura. In her laptop, they also finds Jason pictures. On the other hand, Sophie asks Sister Rebecca for leave, saying that her aunt has died. When Sister Rebecca calls and asks in the hospital, she learns that none of her aunts have died, Sophie lying to her. The next day, when Rebecca asks Sophie about this, Sophie attacks her and knocks her unconscious. Zoe and Jason come to tell Rebecca about Sophie, but they can't find her. Then they go to church to find her. Sophie also comes there. Zoe tells her that they have come to know about her truth. When they starts leaving, Sophie attacks Zoe. She was about to kill her. Just then Rebecca comes from behind and grabs her, but Sophie begins to strangle Rebecca. Then Jason attacks Sophie with a screwdriver, due to which she dies. On that note, movie ends. So friends, that's all in today's video. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I will meet you in the next video. Till then, peace out.